and welcome to Star Trek Discovery, Episode 9, Into the Forest We Go. Welcome, this is a review and recap of the episode, so I'm joined by Jacob again.
Hello.
So, this episode ends this first half of the season.
Yeah, I did say last week that I wasn't sure what sort of a cliffhanger they were going to leave it on this week. You know, if the last one was meant to be the mid-season. But damn, that's a good cliffhanger to leave it on.
Yeah, they made a right choice in changing how they did it because, even if this was the first episode of the second half, that'd be a fantastic episode to bring it back. I think either way it works really well, and I mean it's only like 6 weeks compared to like maybe a year and a half or 6 months to other shows, so I'm very much looking forward to it coming back. But the overall episode, I really enjoyed it. All the Tyler with his post-traumatic stress disorder, most likely basically confirming that he probably is Rock.
I don't know. I still feel weird about it if it was him in the end. The whole, I know, but it's just because I can see the scenes they're going to do in my head. Like I can see exactly what it is they're going to do, and I don't want them to.
I mean, Jacob is a little bit traumatized from the sex scene, so I
didn't need to see Klingon tits. I'm gonna say, like, every time someone asks me about this episode, that's the first thing I'm gonna open with.
But yeah, I mean, it was still the jumping in the warp.
Yeah, that was something. It was like mid-warp jump. Really?
I mean, if they had messed up there and jumped to another universe, perhaps that would be like an interesting way to go for. But I mean, core. No, it's core, wasn't it? How's the Klingon leaders?
Col, is it?
Col or core?
I think it's Col.
Col. Yeah. I mean, I was when they're fighting Burnham, I'm glad Burnham didn't exactly have the upper hand, but there was the obvious thing where he had her by the throat instead of just basically gutting her straight away.
I've got a note about that.
But I mean, obviously, you're not expecting her.
He was toying with her.
Yeah, he was toying with her. He should have, would have easily won, really.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps not easily, but
he would have won.
Yeah, should have won if she wasn't able to teleport. But I did quite like the whole getting onto the ship and having to put the sense which was quite loud.
Quite loud and not very well hidden. Like, just I'll put this here. It's vaguely behind these boxes.
And now flashing light and hello. Yeah. I was like, no wonder you can't do like a day and a half because you'd be like, what is this big glowing thing with alien to the Klingon writing on it? But I did also like when she came out of cover and she was using the universal translator.
Yeah, that was a nice little scene.
Yeah. What some overall thoughts from yourself, Jacob?
It was a decent episode. Like, there was a few bits. It's raised a few questions for me again. Like, why does Lorca seem to have such a thing about Burnham?
Yeah, that is an odd one because it could have been anyone else on the ship. I mean, technically she made the reasoning. She was quite good with her reasoning
as to why,
rather than trying to force situations like it did with Philippa.
Yeah.
So she's kind of learned her lessons from that.
Yeah.
But she could have showed like a map, diagram of what the ships were and where to put the items. I mean the transmitters. But I like it because they were transmitting data back to the fleet, and they essentially got disrupted because they were the jump.
Yeah. So
that's a way they can all say, well, the reason they weren't able to figure it out is because they got crashed out, and perhaps Starfleet could say, well, the one ship who had it, something went drastically wrong, and the ship was lost with all hands. Yeah. We don't want to touch that stuff again, or at least for a long time.
Thing is, though, they were transmitting the way of detecting the Klingon ships. Without that information, the Federation might not win that war.
Yeah. But I don't think the Ship of the Dead, I don't think that was like one of their strongest ships either. I assumed it was their
flagship.
It was their flagship, but it was like a mangled.
Apparently, according to this episode, it's not. Apparently, according to this episode, it's their strongest ship.
Yeah, which is kind of odd.
Yeah. But apparently, this episode leads us to believe that. Do you know the ship that crashed into the Europa at the beginning?
Yeah.
Apparently, that was the Ship of the Dead. Like, that's what this episode's about. I was like, no, that thing was huge in a very different shape to the Ship of the Dead.
Exactly. It was like it was like an icebreaker.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so I think
overall it was a decent episode.
I quite enjoyed this episode. Probably, I would say it's probably my favourite.
Take out the sex scene and it would have been way better. Didn't need to see Klingon tits.
Jake will be waking up in the night going, no!
Yeah, I'll be having a flashback to him having the flashback.
I know we're sort of joking, but it is quite it's obviously it's like post-traumatic stress is quite serious, and it's...
I know, but they could have done it without showing me Klingon tits.
Yeah, I'm guessing, if it is Spock, I'm guessing when they, at some point, it's a flashback, the flashback will be, instead of Tyler...
It'll be Spock.
Yeah.
And her.
But obviously still the whole...
As long as they don't show me Klingon penis as well, I'll be happy.
That'd be very spiky. Just go with the whole spiky aesthetic of the new Klingons.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a blade, or are you just happy to see me? It's both. Alright, enough talk of that. We're probably going to head into a recap. So we're going to our recap, just to mention that our board giveaway has ended, so I'll be going through the comments and selecting the winner shortly. So that's why I haven't actually gone out to people. They've been quite busy with personal life, so should be able to sort it out soon. So, going to the recap now. So, all ships are ordered to return...
behind Klingon lines.
Yeah. And Lorca basically wants to stay and defend.
Yeah.
But Tyrell is saying everyone's coming back. I mean, especially your ship. I mean, he's saying you're going to let a peaceful civilization die here.
Yeah. So Starfleet are ordering a full retreat without using the words full retreat.
Like, everyone just pop back for a chat. Just see how you're doing. You know.
It's the coward's way out, sort of. But I wouldn't expect it from anyone else. But it's the fact it was the Vulcan guy. I was like, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, because the Vulcan's like, well, what's one species to the entirety of the Federation?
Yeah. I mean, I'm confused by why the Klingons is only the one ship.
Yeah.
But I think it seems like in this series, a fleet seems to be one ship, except for obviously the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's the only time there's multiple ships seem to be around.
Basically, this series has taught me, don't expect the logical course of action.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably just it's like ships. You need lots of ships for a fleet. One ship is not a fleet. It's like a scout.
No matter how big the ship is.
Yeah, or how big or powerful. You could probably get 3 or 4 small ships could probably overwhelm a really powerful big ship. Yeah. Because you can't get at all them all. But yeah, so Lorca orders Warp 5 back to the starbase. But
which, as warp speeds go, that's a pretty slow warp speed.
Yes, but he's saying, well, I am warping back, and it's going slow.
Yeah.
So you got plenty of time to figure out how we can resolve this.
Yeah, he's going full mutiny, like full Burnham on them.
Yeah, which I quite like, because he was like, well, I am following orders, and is being a bit awkward about it.
Yeah. What was the quote he said? Is if you're going to disobey an order,
don't let them know.
At least don't let them know you're going to disobey the order.
Because he could have if he just stayed there.
Yeah.
They might have sent fleets and said, "Get back now." But he's like, well, I am warping back.
Just using the warp.
But I did like. There was a good point where he was in this obvious scene as well.
Yeah.
He asks, they got to give an excuse why Stamens can't.
And you just see Stamens been there like, oh god, no.
Yeah, he's like, it's a ruse. It's like, no, we need actual hard data. And it's like, oh dear, I have to figure something out.
Sorry.
What?
I've just realised my autocorrect has autocorrected the word brain to Brian. So, where I've put... Because in the next scene we find out about what's happening
with
his brain-ish.
Yeah. Well, because
that is the next scene, right?
Well, first of all, he's basically saying they need to find a way. He's telling the yacht the way they figured out how to counter the cloak, but they're saying it could take days.
They need more data.
And they have to board the share.
Yeah.
But Lorca thinks of a way they can do it, so that's when they next go down to the med bay.
Yeah, and Stamens' brain is getting rewired, or as my phone is saying, Stamens' Brian is getting rewired.
Yeah. It was like some sort of white substance or white material.
White matter. Your brain's consisted of white matter and grey matter.
Oh, okay. So he's getting overwhelmed. Basically, his brain's getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And he mentions, well, after this, he mentions how many jumps they need.
So 133 jumps in rapid succession.
He says it's only but only mini jumps.
Yeah, micro jumps. They're not big jumps. Just little jumps.
Hop around. Yeah. But then he also, to try and motivate him, mentions that every time you're jumping, he's collecting data on it.
Yeah.
And it could be a pathway to alternate worlds, which leads into the theory of...
It's so heavily... Like, this episode made me go... Do you know, before, we were a bit sceptical about the whole mirror universe theory.
Well, apparently they had mentioned it, and the producers, or the writer had said, they want to do, like, Earth... do the Terran Empire.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, how are they going to... It must be something goes wrong with Spore. Obviously,
but
Lorca's almost like he's planning to go there.
There is... I don't want to jump ahead, but there is something right at the end of this episode that made me go, oh yeah, this is... That theory is confirmed.
Yeah. So the next episode, or next scene, so Lorca's after a boarding party. Tyler wants Burnham to go with him.
Because she's been on the ship before, she's seen it, you know.
Lorca doesn't actually want her to go, well...
Why does Lorca have such a thing? Like, why does he care so much about Burnham? Why is Burnham so important to him?
It is very odd, because...
I think it's because... This is my theory. Lorca knows of the existence of the fourth wall, and he knows that she's the protagonist.
She knows plot armor.
Yeah.
But you should know plot armor does not extend around to people around.
Yeah.
As many shows have shown us this. But I did quite like this scene I've mentioned before.
Yeah.
She actually doesn't. She's not confrontational. She just explains her motives. She explains the reasoning behind it, and she gets him to say, "Yep, okay, I agree with it. I'm not happy about it, but I agree. I'm saying fine, you can do it."
She logicked her way into the situation,
which didn't happen with Philippa before.
Yeah.
So Tilly's preparing for the mission, and slips to the doctor.
Tilly drops Stamens in it.
Yeah, and he's having side effects.
Yeah.
Which the doc is not happy at. I mean, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
who can I?
Yeah, I think he's like one of these like secondary characters like we should remember, but
yeah,
maybe the season or two will remember. But but they don't actually mention much more.
Yeah,
just mention all the side effects.
They don't really have time to. Really, there's no time to talk about it because it's literally, you know, he just has to be plugged in. But he gets one of those wrist hyperspray type deals, you know, so he can be remotely medicated.
Yeah. Well, like then Lorca's like giving a speech while everyone's getting themselves ready.
Yeah.
And he mentions about explorers becoming warriors.
Yeah.
Which I've seen quite a lot, which is almost like
Terran Empire.
Yeah, it's because it's quite because they're essentially Starfleet are meant to be explorers first of all, and because almost Lorca and the war itself has changed what these people are now.
Yeah. Which
is a sad thing, but kind of happens in a war environment really. So and they jump to Parvo. Yeah. Which was I feel like there was quite a nice scene in the warp.
Mid warp, but no. There is a line that threw me out of this episode completely.
Mm-hmm.
Long-range sensors detect a Klingon ship entering Parvo's orbit. I thought this entire episode was about the fact you couldn't detect Klingon ships, but apparently your long-range sensors can detect a cloaking ship in Parvo's orbit.
If you just get rid of the cloak, there's like long-range sensor detect a Klingon ship.
Yeah.
But
they specifically said the word cloaked. And I was like, this entire episode is about the fact you can't detect cloaked ships.
That's quite a big error to put in. I would have quite liked if they popped in to the starbase, said hello, then jumped straight back away. He's like, we're here now, we're going back, see ya. But the jumping in the warp I thought was quite interesting to see as well.
The physics of that are questionable.
Yeah.
Doing a jump while mid-warp. Oh.
Because you're probably, I don't know if they do, what sort of calculations they must be doing for their exact position, because they're moving so fast.
Yeah.
You say warp fire is like a slower warp, but it's still
it's still faster than light.
Yeah. I mean, if they should have dropped out of warp
and then jumped.
That's why we said, go to max warp, get there, then jump back across. But so the Klingon ship, they see a Discovery.
The Klingons get quite cocky.
Yeah, they're like, all right, let's take this ship.
Yeah, it's like, let's take this ship, let's win this war.
Yeah,
you know,
take their weapons. Like, it's not really a weapon as such,
but it is the Federation's secret weapon.
Yeah.
It is what's winning the war for the Federation at this point.
Well, who's really... Are they winning, or is the cloaking
it's
a draw?
It's what's keeping them...
At bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but without that, the Klingons... That's the thing with this episode as well, because if the cloaking... Because he's given the cloaking tech from this ship to
quite a lot of other Klingons.
So they haven't actually... So the cloaking stuff, it's still out there, but essentially this Federation has not got the jumping.
Do you know what I'd have done in this situation as the Federation? Disable one of the ships with the cloaking thing, capture it, take it in, investigate the cloaking thing, and put it on your ships.
Yes, that would be far more effective.
Just EMP one of the Klingon ships or something, disable them somehow.
But get a board. Well, it's shown now they can board them just by warping in.
Yeah.
Get a couple of away teams, board a couple of away teams into the ship.
Yeah.
And just take over the ship.
Yeah.
So we would be far better Starfleet operators.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, wow, these new Starfleet officers, they completely changed the game. Well, what we did was what you call logic, we call stupidity.
Yeah. We used actual logic.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to side character of the episode, frizzy-haired transporter guy.
Yeah, that was he was quite good.
Yeah, but it was just the fact they like full on focused on him, and he had like the big bushy like curly hair and that, and it was just like it was almost like a
DJ. He's like
it was almost
DJ,
like a,
DJ remix.
It was almost like a drama zone on him energizing the transporters.
Yeah, but there's probably quite a few characters that it'd be nice to know more about at some point. But perhaps in the first season, they want to...
Maybe he's going to be the next O'Brien.
No.
Because O'Brien was the transporter operator.
So it's Tyler R. Worf.
Yeah, Tyler's the Worf. But I'm just saying, cause O'Brien's... Like, there's an entire webcomic about there, about O'Brien doing nothing, just standing in the transporter room.
Right. So Tyler and Burnham, they warp onto the ship.
Yeah.
And they manage to deploy the first sensor without any issue. Because they've got these sensors on them which makes them hide them as Klingon.
Had their biosignatures, so they appear as Klingon.
Yeah. There's like this nice glowing yellow ring.
Yeah.
But then Burnham detects a human life form. And she says she needs to bring everyone home. They can't destroy the ship.
It's like, and again, with the thing, they don't even try and hide where they put the sensor. It's like, at least put it in one of the boxes. I doubt that's going to block the signal as much as the, being on a cloaked Klingon ship,
I'm surprised they can't just, like, as soon as they get to Cornwall, just say, Discovery, we found Cornwall, beam her out now.
And, okay, if you knew the exact locations, and they couldn't beam out with the shields are up.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
If you knew the exact locations where you needed to put the sensors, why not beam them directly there?
Yeah, you could
bring one of them there, one of them at one point, one of them at the other. Boom, put the sensors down.
I wonder if the sensor you could you could beam out Klingons out to their ship and onto your ship with you got your full security and they're ready. He's like, oh, we're fighting. Oh, just got beamed out. Oh, just got beamed out. Beam. He's like, well, I'm still a Klingon, so we beamed them onto our ship to took them down.
Yeah.
And our ship's empty.
Yeah.
Again, fantastic Starfleet operators right here. Have more than five sensors and mass transport all their crew into a prison cell. Done. Hire us fictional characters. Right, so
Burnham's tricorder, and that looks like a chunky tricorder. Like that is a big.
Well, they want to go with almost retro design, don't they? Rather than probably sleeker design for next generation.
Yeah.
So they gotta try and make it look retro-y.
But I think that's the first thing we've seen of an actual tricorder in this. It's like I realised because tricorders didn't come up in every episode of other Star Trek. Someone has a tricorder in almost every episode. I think this is the first proper view of it, because we've seen the comms before, but we've never seen the chunky tricorder.
But it's quite nice to know. I quite like almost the retro sort of design. Some of these things. So they make it to the cell and they find Cornwall and the Klingon Laurel, and starts to give Tyler starts to have postmasters.
Slightly before this.
Oh, sorry.
Burnham's trying to hack the door and she's using the thing. She's using the universal translator and she's doing the thing. Tyler just walks over, cuts a few wires, knows exactly how to open the door. I'm like, oh god, no, they're going to do the Vok thing, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, Vok.
Because he knew exactly how to open that door.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hello, I spent 7 months on a Klingon prison ship. Yeah, as a prisoner, that doesn't mean you know how to open the doors. If you spent 7 months on a Klingon ship and you know how to open the doors, why you were a prisoner for 7 months?
Yeah, and considering how easy it was to escape said prison ship.
Yeah.
It's like, one guy, it was a 2-man job. Was it? Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so they're in the cell, and Tyler is starting to get quite a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
Is seeing L'Rell, which was...
Yeah.
So I thought it was well played.
Like, he full on starts, like, shaking and having all these torture flashbacks, and some of which are quite detailed. You're like, ugh, you only see them for a few seconds, but like you saw blades and... But I was just like, wait. He doesn't seem to have any scars from any of this.
Yeah, that's... Well, I mean, we haven't exactly seen with, like, his top off or whatever,
like,
but...
there was a few flashbacks that I swear, like, involved his face and stuff, and it's like, you don't have a scar on you, visibly.
Yeah. You expect somebody being Klingon in prison to have quite a few scars.
Yeah.
Even Mudd didn't have any scars.
Yeah. Well, Mudd was an agent for the Klingons, basically, wasn't he? So
Yeah, well, yeah.
he wasn't getting tortured that much.
I thought he might have got a few, maybe a broken nose, perhaps should have been, talking back.
Like, I don't know, it is sort of reinforcing the he is Vox thing. Like, maybe he wasn't actually tortured, they were just like memory implants or something.
Yeah, it was like him being transformed into
Yeah.
the human, and the memory implant is... Because he didn't actually get tortured to become human,
Yeah.
it's the traumatic experience of turning into a Klingon, which, if perhaps it was the old design,
Yeah.
it would have been quite a massive, like, change, because
Yeah.
sand down the ridges a little bit. But, yeah, well... Tyler is essentially unable to continue.
Shaking and all that, and then...
Well, Cornwell, she's a doctor. She's originally a doctor.
Yeah.
So she knows how to treat him. But she's saying, "You're gonna leave me alone." It's like, Admiral, I kind of have a mission.
Yeah.
What are you talking to do? He can't do anything. You can't walk.
Yeah.
I gotta do it myself.
And the Admiral seems a little bit, like, shocked when Burnham mentions Lorca, and you're like, okay, so that's 2 people I didn't want working around me, and they're both the ones in charge of this mission. I'm going to die.
That's the funny thing. In the last episode,
Yeah.
I was sure she got away. Cause
No, I didn't hear that at all.
I was sure it said like you helped her to escape, but I must have been mistaken when I thought escape her cell rather than escape the ship.
Yeah.
Which is my mistake, but that's why I just assumed.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Burnham, she makes the bridge, deploys a sensor.
Yep.
And so Discovery then starts making little jumps around the Klingon ship.
Yeah, firing many torpedoes.
No, I don't know if they start firing. Just they start.
They start firing a few torpedoes.
Oh, it's
just to get them to cloak.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
And then they start the 133 micro jumps.
Yeah, like they're still on the ship. Like Cornwell's trying to reassure Tyler because she is experienced as a doctor.
Yeah.
So she slowly gets her in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not like an easy thing to fix, really.
Yeah.
So we're back on the Discovery.
Stamens does not look happy.
No, he is in a bad way. He's starting to deteriorate, and the Doctor wants to stop, but they still like it was about 90, 96, I think.
Yeah.
Jump still to go.
And he had a BPM of like 180 something, which is insane.
And his skin was just looked
he was
bad.
Sweating, and he did not look happy.
Yeah, he looked right. But because if they want to I was thinking to myself.
Yeah.
Why don't they have more people rather than Stamens jump with this DNA infusion?
Because they only made one batch. I don't know.
But how do they expect to replicate it?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what I thought. Because if they'd more than one person,
that's what I'd done.
You do at least 2 or 3. Yeah. You could like swap people out. Give Stamens time to recover.
Yeah.
You don't know how long it'll take you. One day you're on, one day you're off. One day you're on, or like a 4 on, 4 off. Classic rotate.
And then don't we jump back to the thing of
so
on the ship and
the Klingons are saying we learned to the sabotage, and they're assuming that L'Rell has escaped, and they want to engage the war because like, what on earth are they doing? We don't understand what's going on.
Like the Klingon here is smarter than the Federation is giving you right. It's like oh, this is obviously some sort of trap. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah. But then Burnham reveals herself.
Yeah.
Well, she shoots a couple of Klingons.
Yeah.
Um,
Burnham gets all shooty. Is what I've written in my notes.
But she gets the universal translator out, and
well, she's had it for a while. She's been listening.
I mean, yeah, but she almost like reveals it, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, but first of all, Cole thinks,
you can speak Klingon.
Those universal translators, like a couple hundred years, or 3 or 400 years in the future, must be very good, because if you ever use Universal Translator now, God, they're awful.
There's a brand new one that's apparently not that bad.
Let's try it out. Perhaps not on Klingon.
Yeah.
Maybe French to start off with, just something easier. But yeah, so that she gets taunted with the fact that he's got the badge of Philippa Georgia,
and he literally uses it to pick her teeth.
Yeah, and then she says, "Well, I'm the one who killed Takuvma."
So he's like, "Oh, this was your captain's then," and sort of taunts her with it, and you're like, "Oh, he gonna die."
I liked him. It was a pity. But yeah, so Klingons, they get into the cell where Tyler and Korma, and Tyler cannot do anything, so Korma has to basically take down a few.
And then she says the magic words, "Burnham needs your help.
Activate Tyler, go!"
And it literally goes, he has literally a flash of Burnham in his head and
gets up. I do hope they...
Gets back to the kiss on Parvo.
Yeah, I do think they obviously pretty much confirm it, he probably is Vok, but it would be nice to see his own memories fighting. I mean, it probably will happen at some point.
Yeah, he has like a fight between
Vok
and Tyler.
Yeah.
See who wins. I hope it's Tyler, because he's a better character.
Yeah. The Vok thing is kind of weird, because I almost wish that if they hadn't done this, because he's almost like meant to be almost like the main Klingon
antagonist,
or even like a secondary protagonist.
Yeah.
And since he's only appeared in essentially 2/3 episodes, really.
Yeah.
And
2 and a bit.
Yeah. And I mean, Takuma should have been around more, really, but
yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Right.
So, Cole thanks Burnham for actually killing Takuma, because
otherwise he would not have had the rise to power.
Yeah. And says, well, if I bring you to Takuma's remaining followers, then everyone will fall in line.
Yeah. And she's like, nah, earn me.
Yeah, you gotta, he managed to kill the captain. Fight me. He's like, haha, I will.
Yeah.
Which is, you could have just gone, no, I'm not gonna.
No, he has to. Klingon code.
Yeah, but he seems like he's more almost like a dishonourable sort of Klingon.
He's still seen as the captain. If he didn't accept the challenge of combat, he'd have been seen as weak.
Fair enough.
Especially a challenge from a human.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing you said. Oh, well, you're human. I don't consider that a proper challenge.
Nah. But he'd have been seen as weak by his crew if he didn't accept it, or at least, if this was proper Trek.
Yeah. So they start their fighting, and obviously the jump sequence actually just about finishes while they're fighting as well.
Yeah.
And they're wondering, why aren't the Klingons fighting back? Well, it's because it's like fight time, arena fight for Klingons.
Yeah. And I didn't see. Sorry, I didn't see. Burnham use any of her Vulcan martial arts training in that fight.
Yeah, there wasn't much going on. Cole could have easily won.
Yeah.
And there's a few times where, as I said before, he had it by the throat.
Yeah.
Another show he could have gutted her and that was it.
Yep. Lorca realises that Burnham's probably up to no good. And he's like, we've got to stay until we get Burnham back.
Yeah, so they obviously wait till the algorithm is finished.
Yeah.
And as soon as they find him, they beam him out, and obviously, Burnham managed to grab hold of like the tag.
The Philippa's badge, yeah.
Yeah. And also Cornwell, Burnham, and L'Rell accidentally.
No, she grabs.
Well, not accidentally, because they didn't mean to. The Discovery didn't mean to transport her out.
Well, yeah,
she grabbed her.
She meant to be transported.
That's what I mean, because it wasn't the intention of Discovery.
Yeah.
But that's not meant to be how transporters work, isn't it? Even if because only meant to transport one person into one slot. We can't do 2 people into one slot.
Things like it have happened before.
But it's a bit of a it's grey area.
It's a grey area, yeah.
I suppose you can leave it, I guess.
Yeah.
So they fire on the ship and destroy it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's like they fire.
I did like the way that Burnham did it though. Burnham's like, oh, you're gonna be easy. Nope. And just grabs the badge and jumps like, hey, and you know.
Imagine like, it was like this jump is going too long and cracks skull on the steps. Beamer out like, oh, we were a little bit late, were we?
Yeah. She was there with a broken back, like, oh, literally a second earlier.
Like, don't worry, this medicine pill will fix you straight away.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
And it's like, I mean, obviously you can heal you from radiation, massive radiation poisoning.
Yeah. Starfleet don't have a cure for death like they do in the Abrams verse, but Starfleet basically do have a cure for pretty much everything else.
Yeah. I mean, have you watched any of the was it Dorkly or College Humor? Like there's like Kirk basically because he's had sex with so many different aliens, he has the space AIDS.
Yeah. He has created a new
ultra virulent
ultra STI.
Yeah. So we're on the bridge, and Burnham and Tyler come up. Well, basically, they come up to the bridge.
Well, something that annoys me. Sorry, I've lost my place in the notes. Okay, Klingon lady isn't mentioned when they talk about who they beamed over.
They just say Klingon prisoner.
Did they actually mention the words?
Yeah, they said Anna Klingon prisoner. I said, I don't know one.
Right, because when I listened, all I heard was we got Tyler, Burnham, and the Admiral. I didn't hear them mention the Klingon lady at all.
Yeah, they just said Klingon, like, we've got a Klingon prisoner. And Laura, and Lorca was like, yep, good, another one. So yeah, so they both, Tyler and Burnham come into the bridge, and they're watching the destruction. And Saru gives a nice little nod to Burnham.
I like the scene of Cole being like, ah, and then the ship blowing up.
Yeah. And I quite like when Burnham looks around, Tyler's gone.
Yeah.
I do quite
But that nod of approval from Saru, that was a good character moment.
Like, I have burned you so much this season. I give you my nod of approval.
And it's like, and her response, like, that was. There are a few little bits of character moments in this, and like I keep saying, the character moments are the best bits of Star Trek. It's why I watch Deep Space Nine is my favourite, because the characters are the best on it.
I'll tell you what I wanted to see instead of Burnham fighting Cole.
What?
Saru fighting Cole. He's like 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
Far stronger than a human. Perhaps I don't know how that compares to Klingon, but it was effortless. He like, fight me, picks him up, chucks him on the side. What?
Yeah.
I am.
Saru is now the captain of the Klingon army.
Saru, plot twist, Saru becomes emperor of the Klingons. Yeah, so next scene. So Terrell says that Cornwall has arrived back with an emergency shuttle.
Yep.
And they're going
Space Station 88 or something.
Yeah, and then they're going to award Lorca a medal.
Yeah, I can't remember the
Legion of Honor.
Yeah, like the biggest. I think that was the highest commendation in Starfleet at that point in time. And
they're also transmitting the data of how to discover cloaked ships.
Yeah, he said it'd take about 11 hours.
Should have sent like on an SD card with Cornwall. Might have been easier than transmitting. Like, oh, I'll transfer over Wi-Fi. Just give me the hard copy. That's fine. That's fine, all right. But obviously, the 11 hours was once what happens at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
that's a way of saying, yep, they haven't got that information.
Yep.
And I think it's a way of almost like cutting it out from the original series.
I did also like the fact of Lorca being like, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
to what you're all saying, like, your unorthodox methods. I'll take it as a compliment.
So Burnham, the next scene, goes to see Tyler.
Yeah.
And they talk about the mission.
They have a proper heart-to-heart.
Yeah, and about not giving up on him. But he also talks about how her reaction to the Klingon.
Yeah. Sorry, just the line of... It basically boiled down to, meeting you almost makes 7 months of torture worth it. And at that, I had to pause it for a bit. Because I was just so mad. Like, who wrote that? Who thought that was a good line to put in? It's like, no.
Yeah, it's probably difficult to work it. I went through 7 months of torture, but I'm glad I found you at the end of it, perhaps.
Even that, it's like, you just don't mention that bit. It's like...
It's like...
Or
it's like, I've had 7 months of torture, but that's behind me now.
Yeah, like... but even then, just...
It's tough to get around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, he's saying talking about what he had to do to survive, and he had to realize he couldn't. He basically on day one he wouldn't be able to survive the actual proper torture
unless he porks the Klingon.
Yeah. And why would the Klingon be interested in him? Because
he's Vork.
Yeah.
Or she's just a really kinky Klingon.
Yeah.
That'd be a great plot twist.
I mean, if it was like the original version of Klingons, perhaps you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But because they're all.
Well, it's like
avocados.
Oh my god, I forgot his name. The guy who has the child with
Worf. With Worf, is it? Because doesn't he have a half?
No. The half Klingon and the half human have a child in Voyager. Kim. No, it's not Harry Kim. It's I can't remember.
But yeah, but they are capable of like mixed breeding.
Yeah.
Even though like I said, the design they changed has made it look quite a bit different now. I still I've like humorous observation perhaps towards the end, but so Lorca goes and speaks a statements about the medals. Now he wants to give the medal to him instead.
Yeah, which I appreciate. Like I was like,
because he made the sacrifice really.
Yeah.
I mean, Lorca didn't really.
Lorca came up with a plan, but it wouldn't have happened without statements.
He didn't go in the ship to fight.
Yeah.
He didn't get himself injected in a chair.
Yeah.
But he talks about there's so many places they're gonna do.
Statement seems surprisingly alright as well.
Yeah, he seems.
I expected him to be in the med bay, like laid up at least.
Or like sort of like.
Yeah.
Getting towards being a bit gone.
Yeah.
But he says, well, I'm only going to do one more jump. It's like, oh, one more back. Okay, then we'll jump loads more. I was like,
no. Well, one more.
Yeah, because he essentially is like, I'm out of this.
Like, something weird is happening to me and the doctors need to find out.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate that doesn't happen. But
yeah.
So during his sleep, the scene that terrifies Jacob.
I didn't need to see. Even if the fact it was just like the sex scene without, but then you see nipple. I didn't need to see Klingon nipple. I didn't need to see Klingon tits.
Why? I didn't know. I thought there wasn't anything.
No, there was definite nipple. I was making a note and then I looked up. I think this is why it scarred me so much. Is because I was making a note and I just looked up and all I saw was Klingon tits and I was like, what did I miss?
But I mean, aside from that part, but it's like quite an intense scene.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, he's actually, he's getting. I think the assumption he's getting raped, but we're not actually sure whether or not if he goes into Voq, their memory changes from being Tyler into Voq, then it's not a rape.
Yeah.
But it's like presses Twister, the human / Klingon.
It's I don't know. It's a weird scene.
Yeah.
And then he goes down
to the prison cell.
But
I'm surprised he would actually be allowed to go into it because they said, well, if you were having such an intense reaction.
Well, he is the head tactical officer. So.
Oh yeah, but perhaps you said Lorca said.
Yeah.
Tell the officer, no, if you're having such issues as this prisoner, let's just keep you away.
Yeah.
But she says she won't let them hurt you.
Yeah. Just the way she starts acting is like, oh, I won't let them hurt you, and
soon.
And
it's like,
what did you do to me? It's they're forcing it. And I was like, no, but Tyler's such a better character than Voq.
They'll fight on the astral plane for control.
There is literally going to be an episode where it's Voq and Tyler fighting for control in the head. And it's probably going to be if it's written well, it's going to be one of the best episodes so far. Because that's a really cool premise for an episode.
If they could split them. Don't know how they'd get the Voq out of Tyler.
The Vulcans could do that.
You're like empty. Well, actually, split them.
Well, the Vulcans could mind meld with him and probably do some jiggery-pokery there.
Yeah. Pluck him out and pop him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're preparing for the trip.
Yep.
And so Statement's talking about, now that I'm done, I'll take you out here. And if anyone's seen an old 80s film, I've only got 3 more days to retirement.
It's like the second they talk about either plans for what they do afterwards, or they show you a picture of their kids / wife.
If you've ever
it's done.
If you've ever seen the Simpsons McBain episodes, where it's like, we just got the ship, the SS live forever.
Yeah.
That you've got to see that clip on YouTube because that McBain is fantastic. But getting back to it, it's quite a sweet scene because he's saying he's gonna so much more time to spend with him.
Yeah.
But the Doc's like, yeah, I'm still stationed here, so I'll be.
Nah, they'll leave him leave.
Yeah, but
like they will.
Yeah, but that was quite nice. And so they get ready to jump, and an error occurs.
No. Before.
Oh, sorry.
Lorca changes the coordinates.
Oh, well, yeah.
It zooms on the screen and it goes command override accepted, and he puts in new coordinates.
So yeah, because he says, "Let's go." No,
let's go home.
So where is his home? His home must be the Terran Empire.
And
but a lot of things. How did he get in the other universe to start off with?
There are many ways of falling in and out of the mirror universe.
Oh yeah,
it happens a lot.
It'd be nice to find out what it was. But then Stamen's like when he jumps out, falls out really.
Yeah.
His eyes go all milky white.
Yeah, he's
and what's
blind.
he saying?
He's like something on I can see them all. Or basically, he's talking about how he can see
where everything is and what.
Yeah, almost as if he can see everything. As in, it sounds like he's talking about he can see all realities and all dimensions, and
Yeah, I mean the mycelial network seems almost too.
It seems almost god tier.
Yeah, how could you capture the tardigrade in the first place?
Yeah.
If it could do all this sort of things, so it's if it was just. Travel anywhere within a certain within a galaxy, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because if it was like the whole universe, like that seems a bit too much.
If it was just like the Milky Way,
yeah,
maybe make more sense.
Oh, it can't go into dark space because there's nothing there at all.
Yeah.
It's only on actual planets.
Yeah.
That would perhaps have been even like the whole Milky Way is still massive,
but it's at least
limited at a certain point.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, but anyway, that was because they so if they thought where are they, because they're all surrounded by like Klingon. Well, if they say Klingon wreckage,
well, he says is that Klingon wreckage, and like I don't know, and so it was like I don't know where we are. The sentences I don't know. It's like well, okay, it's an alternate universe, so you could still find out where you are by the same methods you could in the actual universe with star charts and like the stars won't be that different. It's just an alternate version of your universe.
Yeah, so
like you should be able to find where you are. Like the census might be a bit weird because you're in a different universe, but at the same time, it's like just look at the stars; they should be the same.
I would assume they would calibrate at a certain point. It's like, oh, they're off the way up, but now they're calibrating, and things are slightly off. Oh, let's head to Earth or a location. Like, obviously, I'm guessing that's going to happen in the next episode.
And Lorca's acting all surprised, but I'm like, I know you. I know this was you. I know you're behind this. Like, don't you try and act all surprised at me.
Yeah, I'm quite interested because I thought because before this episode was going to be the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
But I think as a mid-season finale, I think it was a really
definitely a good. Yeah. As it zooms out, you see all the debris. I swear I saw some Terran Empire red on that debris.
I saw a lot of red.
I swear. If I remember correctly, Terran Empire are a big fan of red.
It seems like every faction which has a bad guy note has to have red.
Yeah.
Or a skull.
Yeah. Or both.
Skull and red. Maybe like a skull or sword going through a skull or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the Mitch and Webb sketch where they're wearing skull hats. It's like,
are we the bad guys?
Another saying you probably go look at that as well.
That's a great sketch, actually.
But I mean, I was thinking the whole you can like see anything, see everywhere.
Yeah.
That is, that feels I've been saying before. That's like Dune-esque again because essentially he's like essentially their brains start to change and then their bodies start to change and eventually they have to live inside the spice sort of cloud. Or spice water, it's not exactly quite clear, but if he was start like physically changing as well, I'd be like, oh, come on, what are you doing? He's like, but there's not quite. Also, there's no alternate universes in June, so if they start resurrecting people from the dead,
they've already done that in the Abrams verse.
Yeah, but they're resurrecting with different memories.
Yeah,
and then they have to give them some sort of trauma to reawaken the original memory, so not going to quite happen just yet. Ideas for post-generation to bring Kirk back into the whole thing. But, yeah, so...
So it looks like at least some of the next 6 episodes are gonna be in the mirror universe by the looks of things. That's my.
We didn't get like Joe in the first episode where Stamens was, injects himself.
Yeah, we got the mirror thing, and
yeah, that wasn't. Yeah. And Tilly wasn't too much in those last 2 episodes, really.
Yeah, and the whole captain thing and the whole. I hope they tie up all these loose threads they've given us.
I mean, I'm not exactly expecting them to tie them up properly. I
want them to give us explanations at the very least, though.
I think they might. Well, probably will. Maybe Lorca's from the Power Mirror universe. Tyler is Vok.
Yeah.
Tilly is Secret Agent number 7. I don't know. something. I don't know. Saru's alien predator race masters hop up at some point. Because I just have to see who their predator race is at some point. I want to see what they are. It's gonna be quite interesting. But I think that's about it for.
Yeah. That's it. It was a decent episode. It was a good place to end. It might be the best episode so far.
I think it's my favourite episode.
Like, even with the scouring on a mental degree that I've gotten from it, it might be. It still just doesn't. I'm trying to enjoy it as a show on its own and not as Star Trek, because it just doesn't feel like Star Trek.
I suppose the first season perhaps is a little bit iffy when she gets to this second. Well, it has been renewed for a second season.
I hope it just gets a bit more Trekky.
I thought the show has got better and better as it's gone along. I thought.
Yeah, it has.
So I think we're probably going to come back for a mid-season review at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe the next couple of weeks or so.
Maybe cover that episode we missed.
Yes, that could we do. We'll try and ask maybe Callum or someone else to if they're interested in talking about it.
Yeah.
So might not be next week, might be a couple of weeks just to give us time to sort things out.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to that. So remember to subscribe to this for your Nerdsverse and EuroHybrid. So
do all the subscribey things.
Yeah. So hopefully there'll be more stuff coming out from Nerdsverse, perhaps.
Maybe, I don't know. We've not recorded anything for a while.
I mean, some of the reviews have stopped with EuroHybrid because there's been copyright notices, which is a bit annoying.
Oh, fun!
So for some reason, Mr. Robot is like getting copyright notices. So I'm just gonna leave those for a bit. Just concentrate on one thing and leave it for now. But that's it. Hope to see you guys. Hopefully you'll.
I see you when you sleep.
Yep. So come back in January for the second half.
Yep.
Speak to you then. Goodbye.
Ta-ra.